Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Ajnana-timirandasya Jnana-anjana-salakaya Chakkhuru-nimilitam Jena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Sthapitam Jena Bhutale Soyam Rupa Kadamaham Dadati Sapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Juta Padakamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavanam Cha Sirupam Sagrajatam Sagana Siragunatam Vitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijana Saitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sagana Lalitam Shri Visakam Vitam Cha He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dina Bandhu Jagatpate Gopesh Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhan Sute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Vancha Kalpatarubhasya Kurpa Sindhu Vacha Patitanam Pavanabhya Vaishnabhya Namo Namah Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prestaya Bhutale Srimati Bhakti Vedanta Swami Namini Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Sunyavadi Pasyat Desatarine Jai Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadhara Sri Vasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. So Hare Krishna. So today we are going to discuss about the one of the very important verses of Bhagavad Gita. As Prabhupada said that it is the essence of Bhagavad Gita. So 1155. So it is 1155 of Bhagavad Gita. So let's go to the 1155. So whole idea is that whole Krishna consciousness process, spiritual perfection means how to develop the faith. In Chaitanya Charitamrita, it is stated that according to one's faith, one is considered to be Uttamadhikari, the topmost devotee. One is considered to be Madhyamadhikari, and one is considered to be Kanishtadhikari. So according to faith, whole idea of how to develop the faith or attachment for Krishna. And for that, we have to have knowledge. Krishna say, Maya Sakta Manapartha Yogam Injan Madasra. Ma Vivashyasya Samsayam. So you have to listen to me. We have to develop the knowledge. And to develop the knowledge, the transcendental knowledge, we have to hear. So hearing is very important. Therefore, Krishna says, Tasrinu. Bhagavad Gita chapter 7 to 12 is the Bhakti joke. And Krishna in the beginning of Bhakti joke, he said that Matsrunu, you hear about me, about my opulence, the knowledge about me. Because wider the understanding, deeper the love. If you understand the Lord, as you more and more you understand the Lord, more and more we will develop our appreciations, our attachment, our faith for the Lord. That is the formula. Prabhupada says that you know a person is rich, but if you know how rich he is a billionaire, trillionaire, then our faith, our attachment, our appreciations, our respect for that person will be manifold and augmented, enhanced. Therefore, hearing is very important. So on these notes, we will begin our classes. The beautiful verses is the essence of Bhagavad Gita, 11 chapter 55. mat-karma-kṛn mat-paramo mad-bhaktaḥ saṅga-varjitaḥ nirvairaḥ sarva-bhūteṣu yasa mam eti pāṇḍava. My dear Arjuna, he who engages in my pure devotional service, free from the contamination of fruitive activities and mental speculation, he who asks for me, who makes me the supreme goal of his life, and who is friendly to every living being, he certainly comes to me. There are 5 steps has been given. And we will discuss on the 5 steps. Krishna say, if you follow the 5 steps, just like we have a examination, it is a 5 steps or some kind of steps to become successful in the examination. Similarly, Krishna say, that to come to me, which is the ultimate goal of life, which is the perfection of human form of life, to go back to him. So to go back to him or to achieve the ultimate goal of life, one has to follow the 5 steps. The Krishna himself, the object of the goal, is now revealing the objective of the goal. The process of the goal, process of attaining the object. So here Krishna is giving that first thing he told that he who engage in my pure devotional service, mat-karma-kṛn. Prabhupada has given a very nice purport. Anyone who wants to approach the supreme of all the personality of Godhead on the Krishna Loka planet in the spiritual sky, be intimately connected with Supreme Personality Krishna, must take this formula. This is a golden formula, as stated by the Supreme himself. The formula to come to him is spoken by the Supreme Lord himself. Therefore, this verse is considered to be the essence of Bhagavad Gita. The Bhagavad Gita is a book directed to conditioned souls who are engaged in the material world with the purpose of lording it over the nature and who do not know the real and spiritual life. Avidya kama karma bhi. At this moment, we are ignorance. Niscience means ignorance. Avidya means ignorance, no knowledge, no vidya. Therefore, Krishna, the Bhagavad Gita, our purpose is to enlighten us. The wisdom of Bhagavad Gita to enlighten us. Give us knowledge to how to terminate all this material existence which we have been suffering, which we have been undergoing, this obnoxious cycle of miseries since time memorial due to ignorance. Therefore, Prabhupada says that here Bhagavad Gita is meant to show how one can understand his spiritual existence as in eternal relationship with Supreme Spiritual Personality, and to teach one how to go back to home, back to Godhead. See? The core and cardinal purpose of Bhagavad Gita to deliver the mankind from the nescience of material existence and bring them back to Godhead. That means revive our original consciousness, Krishna consciousness. Now here is the verse which clearly explains the process by which one can attain success in his spiritual activities, devotional service. As far as work is concerned, one should transfer his energy entirely to Krishna consciousness activities, as stated in Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu. Anasakta sa visayan jataharam upunyunjate, nirbandha Krishna sambandhe yuktam vairagya uchyate. No work should be done by any man except in relationship to Krishna. This is called Krishna karma. One may be engaged in various activity, but one should not be attached to the result of his work. The result should be done only for him. For example, one may be engaged in business, but to transform that activity into Krishna consciousness, one has to do the business for Krishna. See, that is the important point. So if Krishna is the proprietor of business, then Krishna should enjoy the profit of the business. If a businessman is in possession of thousands and thousands of dollars, if he has to offer all this to Krishna, he can do it. This is work for Krishna. Instead of constructing a big building for his sense gratification, he can construct a nice temple for Krishna. He can install the deity of Krishna, arrange for the deity service, and it is outlined in the authorized books of devotional service. This is called Krishna karma. One should not be attached to the result of his work, but the result should be offered to the Krishna. One should accept the prasadam, the remnant of offering to Krishna. If one constructs a very big building for Krishna and install the deity of Krishna, one is not prohibited from living there. But it is understood that proprietor of building is Krishna. That is called Krishna consciousness. If, however, one is not able to construct a temple for Krishna, one can engage himself in cleansing the temple of Krishna. That is called Krishna karma. One can cultivate a garden. Anyone who has land in India, at least any poor man has a certain amount of land, can utilize that for Krishna by growing flowers to offer it. One can sow tulsi plant because tulsi leaves are very important. Krishna has recommended this in Bhagavad Gita, Patram Pushpam Phalam Toyam. Krishna desired that one offers him either a leaf or a flower or a fruit or a little water. And by such an offering is satisfied. This leaf especially refers to tulsi. So one can sow tulsi and pour water on the plant. Thus even the poorest of men can engage in the service of Krishna. These are some examples of how one can engage in working for Krishna. So the first point, Krishna, the first step Krishna has said that mat-karma, mat-karma. So what is that Krishna karma? Krishna karma means, what is that Krishna karma? Prabhupada has very nicely explained. Everybody in this world, every living entity engaged. Here it is said that mat-karma-kṛn. Mat-karma-kṛn means Krishna karma. So to know the Krishna karma, so Krishna has already revealed that in whole Bhagavad Gita. It's not that Krishna is not there. The whole idea of Bhagavad Gita to enlighten us, give us the knowledge how to come to Him. So first thing is that mat-karma-kṛn, engage in the. Everybody is working. Everybody is doing something, some activities. Nobody is free from any activities. In Bhagavad Gita, it is stated that nahi kaschit kṣanamapi jatu tishtati akarma krit karyate yat avasah karma sarva prakriti jairgunahi. So in these words, all men are forced to act helplessly according to impulses, one of the modes of material nature. Therefore, no one can refrain from doing something, not even for a moment. So everybody, from prime minister to small ant, is engaged in some activities. But we do not know that our any kind of activities, if it is not properly done, it creates reaction. As a result, we have to bound by this cycle of birth and death. Therefore, one should understand what kind of karma, what kind of activity one should perform, one should execute, so that he will not be bound up by the reaction. As a result, he will be rotating and rotting in this material existence. So people have no idea that what kind of karma. Therefore, Krishna is explaining that there are different kind of karma is there. In this 4th chapter, Krishna says that there are 3 kind of karma is there. So one should know what is karma, what is akarma, what is vikarma. Krishna here says that kim karma kim akarmeti kavyapi atra mohitaha tatte karma pravacchami yad gatva mukhyasya subha. So our problem is that we do not know how to act properly. Nobody can be perfect without perfect knowledge. And without perfect knowledge, nobody can act perfectly. Prabhupada said that. And if nobody can get liberation without acting perfectly. So whole idea to get the knowledge from Bhagavad Gita, from the Supreme Lord, how to act properly. Even the intelligent are bewildered in determining what is action, what is inaction. Now I shall explain to you what action is, knowing which you shall be liberated from all misfortune. Our misfortune is this action. Every action is called equal and opposite reaction or subsequent reaction. That is Newtonian law of action. And so every action has got the subsequent reaction, whether it is a pious or impious. We have to accept this, receive this reaction. As a result, we have to be here in material world. So Krishna telling, as long as we are in this material existence, we are misfortune, is inauspicious. Therefore, we must know that what kind of action we should do so that we will not be bound up by the reaction. Therefore, sometimes intelligent person, they do not know even. They thinking that, oh, there is a altruistic activities, philanthropic activities, some ritualistic activities, fruitive activities. They are also very good. But they do not know even the pious activities has got also reaction. So therefore, Krishna is telling that one must know that how to act properly. So in the next verses, Krishna is telling that there are 3 kind of work is there. So Krishna say that karmani, very nice verse, karmano hi api vadhavyam bodhavyam cha vikarmana akarmanascha baddhavyam ghana karmana gati. So how to determine which action we should do? The intricacy of action are very hard to understand. Therefore, one should know properly what action is, what forbidden action, what inaction. So Krishna here explaining, revealing this knowledge to all, that there are three kind of activities, action. One is forbidden action, one is regulative action, one is inaction. Regulative action is about, if one is serious about liberation from material bondage, one has to understand the distinction between action, inaction, and unauthorized action. Very important point Prabhupada made. One has to apply oneself to such an analysis of action, reaction, perverted action, because it is a very difficult subject matter. To understand Krishna consciousness, the action is according to the modes. One has to learn one's relationship with Supreme. One who has learned perfectly knows that every living entity is an eternal servitor of the Lord, that consequently one has to act in Krishna consciousness. In knowledge. So Krishna consciousness, action must be on the perfect knowledge. Perfect knowledge means perfect transcendental knowledge. On the platform of Krishna consciousness knowledge that I am the eternal part and parcel of the Lord, I am meant to serve the Lord. Divera Swarupai Nitya Krishna Radhas. So if we know that we are meant to, so our action is always Krishna karma. As Krishna demanded that mat-karma-kṛn, I have to do Krishna karma. You have to do Krishna karma means it's karma for Krishna. Unless I have got the perfect knowledge that I am the eternal servant of the Lord, and I have my duty, my constitutional position, constitutional duty is to serve Him. I cannot do that. On that platform, we can know that we have to act for Krishna. Other actions, whether it is a pious regulative action or a forbidden action, that creates the reaction. Urdhvam gachanti satasto. If I do some very good activities, I can go up to the heavenly planet. But again, my pious activity exhausted, again I have to come back. Hine punyam visati lokum. So I have to return to this platform, back to square one. So if I do some forbidden action which is not unauthorized, which is not authorized by scriptures, then I have to go down to hellish planet. In this way, I will be rotating. Either it is pious or impious. Daitra bhadra abhadra jnana monodharma. Ehi bhala, ehi manda. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu says that this auspicious, inauspicious, pious, impious, these are called mental speculation. Actually, nothing is good. Prabhupada give an example, a wet stool or dry stool. Stool is stool. Similarly, we have to understand that our action must be in relationship with Krishna. That is called inaction. That means it will not bound up by the reaction. Therefore, Krishna is telling in the beginning, you do for my work. Whatever you do, you do. Your result should be given to me. There is a beautiful verses in Karma Yoga, 3rd chapter. Krishna say, the act of working, very nice verse. My sarvani karmani sannyasa adhyatma cetasa nirasir nirmam bhutva judhasya vigata jvaraha. Therefore, Arjuna, surrendering all your works unto me, with full knowledge of me, without desire for profit, with no claims to proprietorship, free from lethargy and pride. Beautiful verse. Same as purport. You know that everything belongs to the Lord. Isabasam idam sarvam. Bhaktaram jagyam tapasam sarvalokam mahesar. So everything belongs to Krishna. Krishna is the supreme proprietor. So all my activities, or he is the beneficiary of all my activities. If I know and then I can surrender all my works into Krishna without desiring or profit. So in this way, I can be free from all kind of reaction. In this way, it will not prohibit it. It will not stand as a stumbling block on the path of going back to Godhead. Therefore, Krishna in the beginning says, step one is mat-karma-kṛn. You have to work for. If we are not coming to that stage, then our work has no meaning. I may be engineer, I may be doctor, I may be a big academician, but we have to come to the point of working for Krishna. Therefore, there's a beautiful verses in Bhagavatam. He says that nehat karma dharmaya na vairagya kalpate na tirtha pad sevai jnana jivan api murtu hisa. So here it is stated, anyone whose work is not meant to elevate him to religious life, anyone whose religious ritualistic performance do not raise him to renunciation, and anyone situated in renunciation that does not lead him to devotional service to the Supreme Personality of Godhead must be considered dead, although he is breathing. So all our karma has to be culminate to the point of mat-karma-kṛn, meaning Krishna karma. Must culminate to the point of working for Krishna. Otherwise, it is like useless. It's a death. So they considered dead, although he is breathing. So this is a very important point, that we have to work for Krishna. Therefore, Krishna says, Jagyanta karmana anyatha lokoyam karma bandhana. You have to work for the me. Otherwise, you will be bound up in this material level. You have to bound up by your activities. Either it is pious or impious. So the more point Srila Prabhupada given, one of his lecture in 1414, I think 414, Namam Karmani Limpati. He told also, mat-karma means another aspect of activities. What kind of activities? Working for Krishna. And Krishna, what kind of Krishna's business? Krishna has no work, but it has one business, Krishna. He himself say that dharma sanstapana artha, to establish dharma or preach this Krishna consciousness. Krishna business to preach this Krishna consciousness, to establish the dharma, establish Krishna consciousness, to revive our Krishna consciousness, or to bring us back to Godhead. That is Krishna dharma. Krishna's business, Krishna's work. So if I have to work for Krishna, means I have to also preaching. Krishna's business also preaching. He himself comes down. Different activity, different incarnation. What for? To arouse Krishna consciousness among the conditioned soul who have been torn away from the Lord and suffering in this obnoxious material existence. That is whole purpose, the fundamental purpose, the dominant purpose of Lord comes down. Yada jadahi dharmasya glanir bhavati bharata abhithanam adharmas. Therefore, he says, give up all nonsense activities. Work for me. Sarva-dharman parityāja māṁ ekam saranam vraj. You work for me. You will get out from this complexity. Get out from this difficult predicament, precarious existence. Therefore, here, Prabhupada said very nicely that preaching is very important. Jare dekha tare kaha Krishna upadesa. Amara ajnane hanat Guru hai. You become a instructive spiritual master. You preach this gospel. And Krishna says, whosoever preaches this gospel, Jaidam, what is that? Paramam guhyam mad-bhaktaḥ abhidishyati. Krishna says, anybody who preaches this wisdom, knowledge to others, particularly my devotees, what will happen? He is very dearest to me. He will come soon to me. Namam, what is that? Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita that nobody is so dear to me, those who is preaching. Nacha tasman manusyasu kassin me priya kirtamaha. If one is doing like that, Krishna immediately recognizes, oh, you are the best friend of mine. Anybody doing this Krishna karma, working for Krishna, the preaching activities, he is the most dearest to Krishna. That is also called Krishna karma. So, This is the first step actually. We can elaborate it, but we have not, we can elaborate also a lot of things on this. So this is called Krishna karma. Then second point, Krishna said that second step Krishna is revealing in these verses after working for me. Mat-karma-kṛn, mat-paramo, the goal of life. To make Krishna as the goal of life. Nate viddu shastra gatim English. Our goal of life is Krishna. How to go back to Godhead. That is whole idea. It is stated in this verse by Prahlad Maharaj that Prahlad Maharaj stated that Jathai Purusheha Vishnu Pada Upasarpanam. Vishnu Pada Upasarpanam, approaching the lotus feet of the Lord. The human form of life afford one chance to return home back to Godhead. Therefore, living entity, especially human form of life, must engage in devotional service to the lotus feet of the Lord. So our idea to Krishna is our goal of life. So the second point, the whole idea to how to go back to Godhead. This is our mat-paramo. Mad-bhaktaḥ, when you become my devotee. Devotee means how to become. Krishna also say in Bhagavad Gita, manmana bhava mad-bhaktaḥ. Devotee means those who engage in devotional service. There is called bhakta bhagavana. And the transaction between bhakta bhagavana called bhakti. So a devotee means who does the transaction of loving devotional service with Lord. They are called bhakta. Bhakta means always engage. Satatam kittante mama jagantascha diddhavata namasyantascha mam bhaktya nitya yuktopasa. Always engage in the service of the Lord. Sarvanam kirtanam Vishnu smaranam. Prahlad Maharaj said that who is a bhakta? Sarvanam kirtanam Vishnu smaranam. Pad sevanam archanam bandanam dasyam sakyam atmanivedanam iti punsarpita Vishnu bhakti chena navalakshana. Those who executing this 9 kind of devotional service, he is considered a Bhagavat Bhakta. So Krishna telling you have to engage in this bhakti. And saṅga-varjitaḥ. Saṅga-varjitaḥ means free from the material attachment. Because material attachment is the impediment. Material association, material attachment. These are the impediment for our bhakti. Any kind of saṅga-varjitaḥ means fruitive activities also. Any kind of fruitive activities that will stumbling block. Prabhupada translated saṅga-varjitaḥ means free from contamination of fruitive activity in mental speculation. Rupa Goswami defined the pure devotional service as anya-vilasita sunyam jnana karmadi anarvitam. So one has to be free from these 2 things. That is saṅga-varjitaḥ. Anya-vilasita sunyam jnana karmadi anarvitam anukulyena krishnanushilanam bhaktir kama. These fruitive activities, they are not anukulyan, means favorable. It's not favorable for Krishna consciousness or developing our love for Godhead or the process of going back to Godhead. So therefore, the first class devotional service development must be devoid of material desire and knowledge obtained by the monastic philosophy and fruitive action. Devotee must constantly serve Krishna favorably as Krishna desire. So these are the things, 2 things, fruitive activities and mental speculation. They are impediment. They are not favorable. Pratikula, not anukula. Anukula means favorable. Pratikula means unfavorable. Therefore, in Chaitanya Charitamrita, it is said that the fruitive activities are not so, they are not so favorable for our execution of devotional service. There's a beautiful verse in the Chaitanya Charitamrita. कर्म निंदा कर्म त्याग सर्वे शास्त्रे कहे कर्म होइते प्रेम भक्ति कृष्णा कभु नाय. In every revealed scripture there is a condemnation of fruitive activities. It is advised everywhere to give up the engagement in fruitive activity, for no one can attain the highest goal of life, love of Godhead, by executing them. So fruitive activities is impediment to bhakti, condemns. Therefore, no one can attain highest goal. Dharma, karma, dharma, artha, kama, moksha. These are the four business, purushartha. But this is not the ultimate goal of life. There is another goal which can give us the things that is called bhakti, highest goal. So therefore one has to understand this point, and one should devoid of this kind of things. As long as one is engaged in fruitive activity, these are called impediment to our bhakti. Therefore, it is stated that one should devoid of all these things. Krishna also in the beginning of the chapter, Bhagavad Gita, Krishna say Arjuna that you should give up these fruitive activities. Dure nahi aviram karma, dura nahi aviram karma, dure nahi aviram avaram karma, buddhi yoga dhananjaya, buddha saranam manivichya kripana phala hetavo. O Dhananjaya, keep all abominable activity far distance by devotional service, and that consciousness surrender unto the Lord. Those who want to enjoy the fruits of their work are misers. Fruitive activity means who enjoy the fruits of his activity. So they are miser. So this is abominable, condemned. So one should be free from these fruitive activities. The fruitive activities is there in Vedas, but it is not meant for ultimate goal. It is stated in these beautiful verses in 11th canto Bhagavad Gita that this kind of fruitive activities is meant for this. Those statements of scripture promising fruitive rewards do not prescribe ultimate good for man, but are merely enticement for executing beneficial religious duty, like promise of candy spoken to induce a child to take beneficial medicine. That is actually, it is not a ultimate benefit, ultimate goal, ultimate good, but just to induce a child, just like a child is do not want to take medicine, but to induce so that he will take beneficial medicine in future. Therefore, this karma-kṛn has been introduced, is there in Vedas, because Veda is only encompassing. There are so many people are there. Karma-kṛn is, jnana-kṛn is, upasana-kṛn is. So slowly they will gradually elevate to the point of upasana-kṛn, bhakti. For them, therefore, one should free from activities of this, free from the fruitive activity, should not engage in fruitive activity. There was a verse also there, forget that one should not, those who are intelligent, they should not, let me see. Even a preacher, those who are in knowledge, they should not induce others to engage in fruitive activities. See here, it is, this verse is there. It is say that if someone is ignorant and addicted to the path of samsara, how can one who is actually learned and merciful advance in spiritual knowledge, engage him in the fruitive activity, thus further entangle him in material existence? Because fruitive activities is reactive work. As long as we have done reactive work, we have to be entangled in this material existence. If a blind man is walking down the wrong path, how can a gentleman allow him to continue on this way to danger? How can he approve this method? No wise or kind man can allow this. So therefore, fruitive activities are not advised by Krishna. Then we have learned that three things. First of all, you have to work for Krishna. Second, Krishna, make the Krishna as paramo, goal of life. And third things we learned that to become a devotee of Krishna by executing 9 process of devotional service. Fourth thing that we have to free from fruitive activity. What is the last thing Krishna is speaking about in this verse? Nirahai. Nirahai means Krishna say that one has to be who is friendly to every living being. He certainly comes to me. Friendly means one has to be friendly. One should not have envious. That is very nice things is there. That devotee, just like Jesus Christ say that you hate the sinner, you hate the sins, but not the sinners. So Prabhupada used to give an example that supposing a doctor is coming to a patient and patient is talking nonsense to doctor because under the convulsion, under the impression of convulsion. Convulsion means like, reactive bodies react, is like kind of mad, like, and he's talking so much nonsense. That does not mean that doctor will not or refuse to treat it. Similarly, a conditioned soul who was so much in a wrong path, he do not know what is Krishna consciousness, what is goal of life. Due to his ignorance, he is engaged in fruitive activities or abominable action. So one should not, if one is hate that person, how can he deliver that person? Therefore, one should not hate the person, but hate his activities. Therefore, it is said that you do not hate the sinner, hate the sins. Therefore, a devotee should be always friendly to every living being. Devotee has no enemy. Other person may have enemies, but devotee is ajata satrava. The quality of devotee is ajata satrava. Samah sarva-bhūteṣu, very friendly, congenial to everyone, understanding that they are all part and parcel of the Lord. But under the influence of the external energy of the Lord Maya, they were placed in different position and they were in suffering consequently. So therefore, one should not be inimical to them. Ajata satrava. Say that devotee's quality means one should be ajata satrava. Lord Kapila is speaking to his mother devotee, Titikha karunika suhid sarvadehinam ajata satrava santah sadhava sadhubhusana. So the symptoms of sadhu are that he is tolerant, merciful, friendly to all living entities. If he is not friendly to living entity, that means he is not a sadhu. He do not know proper knowledge. Krishna do not subscribe that. Krishna do not accept that devotional service. Krishna said in these beautiful verses in 329 that a person who worship me but do not care for the living entities, Krishna said, I am present in every living entity as the super soul. If someone neglects or disregards that super soul everywhere and engage himself in the worship of deity in the temple, that is simply imitation. And further it is Krishna is speaking that one who worships the deity of Godhead in the temple but does not know the Supreme Lord as Paramatma is situated every living entity heart must be ignorance as compared to one who offers oblation to ashes. And this beautiful verses, Krishna saying the next verse. One who offers me respect but is envious of the bodies of others is therefore a separatist, never attain peace of mind because of his inimical behavior towards the other living entities. That is very important. That is the case. That Krishna, although one worships the Lord, but it's like a separate mode of ignorance. But he do not friendly to others, is very envious to others, living entity. Without understanding that super soul, Krishna is a super soul, sarva-bhūtānām udyasya tishtati, Arjuna. He resides in the heart of every living entity as a super soul, Paramatma. You do not know that fact. That means Krishna say is useless. He never attained peace. He never attained Krishna also. Krishna never accepted his things. My dear mother, even if we worship with proper rituals and paraphernalia, a person who is ignorant of my presence in all living entity never pleases me by the worship of my deity in the temple. Why he is inimical? Because he does not know that Krishna is present. Although he is worshipping, but he do not disregards this fact and inimical to others. Krishna say that he never pleases me. He never pleases me. Bhakti means to please the Lord. Whole idea of the bhakti to please the Lord. So here Krishna say, I am not pleased. Therefore one has to be always Sweet the sarva-dehina. Just like Krishna is always sweet the sarva-bhūtana. Krishna is very much friendly to everyone. Well-wisher. Not friend actually. Well-wisher. Sridham means well-wisher, not hi-bye friend. Always well-wisher. To every living entity. Krishna says, Name deshwasti, Name priya. Je bhajanti mam bhaktya. Tame teshu aham. Teshu teham. Teshu te teham. So, I am not. Samaha sarva-bhūteṣu. Krishna says, I also see everybody in the equal. Nobody is enemy, nobody is friend to me. But who is my bhakta? I am in me and he is my friend. So one has to be properly see, sarva-dehina. Bhakti means, the devotee means always see the every living entity same. That is Pandita. Pandita Samadarshina. He never differentiate his enemy, he is my friend. So in these 5 steps has been given, as Prabhupada say, that these 5 steps are very important. One can surely come back to Godhead. So let us go to the purport and finish this. So these are the very important lesson, essence of Bhagavad Gita. If we follow these 5 steps, then we have to be, we can go back to Godhead. So the word mat-para refers to one who considers the association of Krishna as a supreme power to the highest perfection of life. This is the highest, back to Godhead. Such a person does not wish to be elevated to highest planetary such as moon, sun or heavenly planet, even the highest planet of his universe, Brahmaloka. He has no attraction for that. He is only attracted to being manifested to the spiritual sky. And even in spiritual sky, he is not satisfied with merging into glowing of Brahmajyoti effulgence, or wants to enter higher spiritual planet, namely Krishna Loka, Goloka, Vrindavan. He has full knowledge of planet, and therefore he is not interested in any other, as indicated by the word mad-bhaktaḥ. So he is not interested in higher planetary system, even though merging also. The Mayavadis transcendental, one type of transcendental is their ultimate goal to merge into the Brahmajyoti. But devotees, no, they do not like. They want to service. Mama janmani sare bhavatal bhakti. As indicated by the word mad-bhaktaḥ, he fully engaged in the lotus feet of the Lord, offering engage all 9 devotional process, or 8 or 7 or at least 1, that will surely make one perfect. He fully engaged in the 9 processes of devotional service, especially in the 9 processes of devotional engagement: hearing, chanting, remembering, worshipping, serving the lotus feet of the Lord, offering prayers, carrying out the orders of the Lord, making friends with him, and surrendering everything to him. One can engage all 9 devotional processes, or 8 or 7 or at least 1, that will surely make one perfect. The term saṅga-varjitaḥ is very significant. One should associate himself from a person who are against Krishna. Not only that atheistic person against Krishna, but also are those who are attracted to fruitive activities and mental speculation. There are 2 things, like those who are fruitive activities or mental speculation, Mayavadi, and the bhogis, the karmi and Mayavadis. And also one should not associate with normal general people who are averse to Krishna, atheist. Therefore Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said that asasanga tyaga ehi Vaishnava acharya. The first principle of Vaishnava to give up this bad association. Therefore the pure form of devotional service is described in Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu, Nabilasitu Sunyam Jnana Karmati Anarvitam Anukulyana Krishnanusila Bhakti Ruttama. In this verse, Srila Rupa Goswami clearly states, if anyone wants to execute on unalloyed devotional service, he must be freed from all kind of material contamination. He must be freed from the association of persons who are addicted to fruitive activity and mental speculation. When freed from such unwanted association from the contamination of material desire, one favorably cultivate knowledge of Krishna. That is called pure devotional service. Anukulyena sankalpa pratikulyena varjanam. Haribhakti Vilas. One should think of Krishna and act for Krishna favorably, not unfavorably. Kansa was an enemy of Krishna from the very beginning of Krishna birth. Kansa planned in so many ways to kill him. And because he was always unsuccessful, he was always thinking of Krishna. Thus, while walking, while eating, while sleeping, he was always Krishna consciousness in every respect. But Krishna consciousness was not favorable. Therefore, in spite of his always thinking of Krishna 24-hour day, he was considered a demon. And Krishna at last killed him. Of course, anyone who is killed by Krishna got the attained salvation immediately. But that is not the aim of pure devotee. Pure devotee does not even want salvation. He does not want transfer to even to highest planet Goloka Vrindavan. His only objective is to serve Krishna wherever he may be. A devotee of Krishna is friendly to everyone. Therefore, it is said that he has no enemy, nirvairaḥ. How is this? A devotee situated in Krishna consciousness knows that only devotional service to the Krishna can relieve a person from all problems of life. He has no personal experience. He has personal experience of this. Therefore, he wants to introduce this system, Krishna consciousness, into human society. Therefore, there are many examples in history, devotee of the Lord who risked their life for the spreading God consciousness. The favorite example is Lord Jesus Christ. He was crucified by non-devotee, but he sacrificed his life for spreading God consciousness. Of course, it would be superficial to understand that he was killed. Similarly, in India, there are many examples such as Thakur Haridas and Prahlad Maharaj. Why such risk? Because they wanted to spread Krishna consciousness, and it is difficult. A Krishna conscious person knows that the main is suffering, it is due to forgetfulness of his eternal relationship with Krishna. Therefore, the highest benefit one can render to human society is relieving one's neighbor from all material problems. In such a way, pure devotees engage in the service of the Lord. Now we can imagine how merciful Krishna is to those engaged in his service, risking everything for him. Therefore, it is certain that such a person must reach the supreme planet after leaving this body. In summary, the universal form of Krishna, which is temporary manifestation, and the form of time, which devotes everything, and even form of Vishnu 400 have all been exhibited by Krishna. Thus, Krishna is the origin of all these manifestations. It is not that Krishna is a manifestation of original Vishwarup or Vishnu. Krishna is the origin of all forms. There are hundreds and thousands of Vishnu, but for devotee, no form of Krishna is important, but original form who form 200 Samsundar involved. So here it is, Prabhupada is saying that that how the things, all the 5 steps are very important to we can easily transport to the Goloka Vrindavan. How to work for Krishna, how to make it the ultimate goal of life, how to free from the fruitive activities and free from the bad association, and how to become friendly to every living entities, and how to become a devotee of Krishna. These 5 things very important that will transfer us to Goloka Vrindavan. So on this notes we will disperse. Thank you so much. Mantra Srimad Bhagavad Gita ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Nitai Gaura Hari.